The best way I could describe how my brain feels is I see myself doing things, and then I look back and I reminisce about my 17-year-old self, my 15-year-old self, even my 23, my 20. I look back at my 22-year-old self. I'm like, why would you do it that way? That's not. And I feel that tonal shift of the way my body is setting myself up for adulting. That is really. It's really making me proud. It's really making me sit back and realize that we're not all fully functioning to the way that we really should be or the way that we could be. And that is okay. That kid whimsy is still in you. You're able to not see things as they are, but you want to see them as they could be. But that's not me saying that you should look back at your childhood self and your childhood needs and say, my friend, remove yourself. It's more so I want this video to be about being able to recognize what you were doing as a child and be able to see yourself and be like, okay, I'm going to take the things I need from that to bring that along, and I'm going to disregard the things that need to be put in the wayside. You are grown enough to be able to sit back and be like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this, or no, I should be doing this. So these are the things that I'm bringing in to my 24-year-old self. Number one, it's going to be a quick story. I'm going to be taking my health seriously, but in a specific way. I'm not going to be bogged down by the numbers. I'm going to be more focused on the feeling of health more than anything else. So if y'all didn't know, I was just in New York. Yeah, go click on that video. But that's not hey, not too much promo. I was just in New York City, and I was traveling, I was moving, I was doing a lot. I was running up and down, and honestly, the whimsy of being in New York was just kicking into me, and I was like, when you're feeling your best, or at least you're physically feeling energized, even though you're doing things that shouldn't be energizing. For example, not getting enough sleep, eating too much, randomly doing da-da-da-da-da. I was still feeling empowered. I was still feeling rejuvenated by just being in an area where so much things were happening and so much movement was happening. But the reason why I bring all this up, when I was leaving New York, I recognized I forgot something. I lost. As y'all can see, I am not wearing my Apple Watch right now. And if you've been following me on TikTok, what is my TikTok? My TikTok is Sensei. As you guys been following me on TikTok, you might be seeing, if you scroll down, I've been doing these videos of where I'm closing all 3 of my rings every single day. And honestly, I feel like that has not been as positive as I thought it would be. I feel like it was giving too much emphasis on the completion of the task more than anything else, right? It was putting too much emphasis on the fact that I was exercising, not the way I was exercising or why I was exercising, right? And I feel like it was leading to me not making the gains and the strides as I truly, I don't want to say should be, because we shouldn't be doing anything but just being good civilians, eating, sleeping, and occasionally having fun. But that's a whole other conversation. I was being far too focused on the closure of the rings that I was missing out on the fun of actually exercising, right? So I forgot the watch in the apartment that I was at, and I was like, real quick. I was supposed to take a Lyft. I was supposed to take this rideshare app, and I scheduled my ride to be in 15 minutes for them to be there. I scheduled it for pick me up later, and they picked me up immediately. They're like, someone will be downstairs in 1 minute, and I'm looking around like, oh wow. Keep in mind, I'm in the bathroom, right? I'm still brushing my teeth, getting ready to snack on my thing and run out to. And I was in the middle of brushing my teeth, getting ready to head out. I still had a couple things to do. I still need to put my clothes together before getting on this airplane. And they're like, yeah, we're outside, buddy. Where you at? And you know how a lot of these rideshare apps, they do this thing that's, I feel, is so menacing. It's so menacing. They're like, hey, we will leave you in 5 minutes, and we will charge you for this ride if you like it or not. I'm sorry. Suffrage. I don't care. So I'm like, oh, wow, I'm just scraping my teeth. Keep in mind, I have a hard brush. You're not supposed to do that with a hard brush. So I'm getting ready. I wash my face. I put it in. I grab a bagel. I'm eating my food. I'm running down the stairs because for some reason y'all don't own elevators in New York City. Beyond the point. I'm zooming down. And I like just barely catch them. Like the time is ran out. I literally see him getting ready to pull off. I'm like, I'm here. He says, come on, jump in. We jump in, we go. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not. You know what's funny? I didn't feel a buzzing for like the 20 minutes I was inside the car. And I'm like, that feels kind of weird. This feels different. And I look at my wrist. I'm like, I don't got it on. I said, I might have threw it in my backpack. I get to the airport. I open my backpack. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's not there. And the reason how I found out, so I'm going through TSA. They're like, take all your large electrics out of the bag. Fine. Sure. I take it out. I put it out. I open the bag. I'm like, wait a minute. This is where I put my watch. It wasn't there. And funny enough, this XL was just angelic. It was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. The fact that I lost it in New York. So yeah. I don't have my Apple Watch. I don't have my watch no more. And it's been cool because honestly, I like not having it because like I can finally like wear stuff, and I like the little stylistic choices you could make instead of always having to wear the exercise watches, because I feel like they always look kind of and they're not too stylistically, they're rarely stylistically favorable in my opinion. And I was getting to the point where I was like, no, I want to be able to like wear what I want, because like you could like, sure, you can wear a watch with your Apple Watch, but it doesn't hit the same, right? So moving on from that, I'm more in the headspace with trying to be as intentional as I can with this exercising that I am doing, right? If it's not so much having a plan when I do enter the gym, but having a more diverse plan to be able to like set myself up physically to know how to move my body. Like even after this, I'm about to go run and swim. I'm very excited, but being able to take hold of your fitness. Oh wow, that felt really good. If y'all didn't know, I took out my braids, so yeah, no, this feels amazing. So if being able to take hold of your exercise or take hold of your physical health is something I'm gonna be very intentional about, because of like, I'm in fantastic shape, but I feel like there's little steps that I am missing that would take my physical and mental health through the roof. And one of the main things I want to do is pick up more. I want to be able to pick up more different ways to supplement my physical health. If that's not just swimming, I already box, trying to add some kickboxing, some MMA, just adding the 9 yards to be able to like have a more well-rounded exercising routine to be like more healthier in the long run. I've been running recently, and I like destroyed my knee while I was running. I ran like 7 miles, and I was like, oh, I feel that in my left knee. I really, really feel that in my left knee. So I've been having to look into ways to heal. I don't want to say to heal myself, but I've been looking at like physical therapy because I don't want to go and get like surgery on like different parts of my body, because I feel like that's way too invasive. That's a little bit much. If it's not like truly chronic, I feel like I should try every other means to fix the root problem without having to go under the knife. That's at least my goal with it. It is not a myth. I think it is not a myth. Using core exercises is truly needed, because I'm like, you can squat as much as you want, you can bench as you can squat as much as you want, you can bench as much as you want, you could do all those like different aspects of you could do all these different things. But if you have a weak core strength, I feel like that shows up in a lot of more in your physical activities more than you would know. Like, one of the things I've been recognizing, the way I like walk is like a little bit slanted, is like a little bit off, but I feel like that could be fixed with like actively engaging my core when I work out, and doing that could completely shift the way that I feel when I am doing movements, where it's like having to lean against something when I'm like just standing in the subway, or just having to always be sitting down. That those type of things could be changed if I was to take more specific interest in different aspects of the exercising world. So yeah, that's been a really big one. Doing things for the plot is something I think we should all be doing. Things for the plot is very necessary in this young life, especially in your 20s. I think, especially since moving towards my mid 20s, doing things for the plot is a thing. Doing things for the plot is necessary to get the most out of life, because of like, I feel like happiness is a thing that is lacklustered in the world at the moment, especially with people in their 20s, where you need to feel like you're always going. You need this constant reassurance that you are doing a thing for your future 40-year-old, 50-year-old self. And I feel like that is holding such a detriment to living at the moment. Like, there's been such an extensive research that's been starting to be done for people that had to go through school during the COVID era, and that has showed itself in a lot of different a lot of different aspects of being in your 20s. Like, for example, if you go on TikTok, everybody is going out their way to talk about the fact that their dating life is not as good, going out to clubs is boring, no one wants to dance, everyone is just so isolated, nobody knows how to have a good date or talk to each other, things of that nature. But without keep it in mind, we were literally just in a pandemic just a couple years ago. The world was shut down when people were supposed to having their prime of learning how to socialize. So now that we're seeing the remnants of it, I feel like knowing how to have fun is very important, especially now more than ever, with everything that's going on that feels like you're forcing yourself to grow up faster than you need to be, especially with the recession that's on its way, or the recession that's honestly kind of started right now. But that's we'll talk about it a whole nother time. We'll have an economist over here to explain what's going on. As we get towards this age where I feel like it's not just formative, but it's fun. The 20s are supposed to be fun because of you'll never be as young as hot. You'll never be as young as hot as lacking in responsibilities as you are right now. You don't have to do anything but pay taxes. And you know what? Yeah, that's also pretty. So the fact that people are going out their way to isolate themselves and step away from everything is so interesting, because of like, as a human being, one of the main factors of us is connecting. One of the main factors of having a fuller life is being able to curate the community that comes around you to be able to move forward in the things that you want to do in this short lifestyle. And one of the things that is connected to fun is the fact that you have to be intentional with the fun that you are having, right? And there's been a lot of research that's been out around the idea of having fun in the first place. Like, for example, there's been some research that came around with these two different types of fun, where it's like type 1 is more objective, more explicit type of fun. For example, where it's like eating a nice meal, or go visit and hanging out with friends, or eating candy, or driving really fast for some people. I mean, yeah, that is also pretty fun. But that's beyond the point. Where there's a type 2 fun where it's kind of the opposite, where you hate that you're doing it. Think of, for example, In your early 20s, leading to your 30s, one of the things that tends to happen, your friends they tend to do a couple things. The two main things, they either go to grad school or they run a marathon. And you know what? They will hate doing both. They will despise it. They will wake up every single morning. The fact they have to go to class and be like, but they'll get it done. And guess what will happen when they finish? That euphoria. That fantastical feeling, that aura defining, that scrumptious, that deep, that pleasant feeling of being over, being done, being able to finish something hard. That's that type 2 fun. That's the fun that is not as common in the average lifestyle. You have to go out of your way to seek out that type 2 fun. For example, learning how to climb mountains. Who wants to learn how to climb mountains? Who wants the mountain? That's a lot of work. That's tiresome. That's dangerous. I know people who their favorite hobbies, hear me out, is going on this very app that you're on right now and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That is what they have as fun. That is far more enjoyable for people. But I feel like that's because they're not getting the chance to experience type 2 fun. They're not given the chance to grow. They're not given the chance to have something difficult be completed under their belt. And I feel like if people are able to focus more on those types of fun things, that's is where the true fun happens. That's where the true joy of this young life happens. And here's another thing. I feel like being spontaneous is. I busted my back, my knee, and my foot a couple days ago, and my body hurts. But that's ow. Being spontaneous is one of the few joys in this life. Being spontaneous is one of those things where the surprise that you're doing something new is enough to change your outlook of the whole week. And I feel like we should all adopt little spontaneous things throughout the week to be able to set yourself up to have a more enjoyable life, be able to have more fun in your young 20s, right? Because we tend to miss out on a lot of unstructured play time nowadays, especially when you are in this fast-paced, fast-moving time that we're in, where everyone seems to be obnoxiously rich, obnoxiously famous, obnoxiously successful, even though they're 5-6 years younger than you. So being able to throw that anxiety to the back of your mind and be able to look forward and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I can do it to be able to bring some pleasure to myself is a must, especially right now. And one of the things I want to bring into my 20s, the spontaneous fun, the unscheduled fun time. Actually, the scheduled, unscheduled fun time. I need there to be a set day. There needs to be a set day where I'm able to just sit back and relax and just do things that will be beneficial to me. It doesn't have to be a thing that I do, but there has to be a sectioned out time for me to do whatever the mug I want to be able to get done in that time. And that is something that I must bring to my 20s. And one of the main things about your 20s is this is the time where being able to learn and being able to do things is giving you the building blocks to be one of my goals in this short life. I want to be a cool 60-year-old. I want to look back at my life and be like, oh, I'm just real. I'm just cool. I'm calm. This is smooth. I'm a guy that people aspire to be based off of purely vibe. I want. When people are talking about cool uncle, like the cool. What is that saying? Yeah, beyond the point.